Have you ever practiced a conversation in your head, but when the moment actually arrives, you forget every word?
Yesterday, a cashier asked me a very basic question, and I somehow forgot how to be a normal human.
Oh no, what did they ask you?
He just asked what I was doing this weekend. I panicked and told him I was processing oxygen.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Everyday English Learning, real conversations for everyday life.
Hi there, I'm Jake.
And I'm Lily. Today, we are talking about how to survive those unexpected moments and actually speak with ease.
Processing oxygen. That is what I said to a friendly stranger holding my coffee.
That is scientifically accurate, but maybe not the best small talk.
I just completely blanked. I was put on the spot and my brain entirely shut down.
This happens to so many people learning English. You know the vocabulary perfectly in your head.
But when a real conversation happens, the pressure hits, and the words just disappear.
Exactly. You feel like you need a complicated answer, so you freeze.
You want to speak smoothly, but your mind is running too fast to find the right sentence.
You do not need perfect grammar to speak with ease. You just need a few reliable anchors.
This episode gives you exact phrases you can use when you do not know what to say.
And we will break down some great vocabulary later during meaning moments. So, how did the cashier react?
He slowly handed me my change in silence. I really need those reliable phrases.
I can imagine that quiet moment perfectly. Just you, the cashier, and the oxygen.
It felt like an entire hour. I actually had normal weekend plans, but my brain tried to translate 5 different ideas at once.
That is the trap. You assumed you had to give a complete, factual report of your next 2 days.
Well, he asked a direct question. I thought I needed to give a direct, highly detailed answer to be polite.
But everyday small talk is not an interrogation. He does not actually need your schedule. He is just participating in a social rhythm.
Fair. If I asked a casual question and the person gave me a 20-minute speech about buying groceries, I would regret asking.
Exactly. When you freeze, it is usually because you are trying to build a complicated sentence instead of a safe one.
I always do that. I want to sound intelligent, so I search for the absolute best word. Then the silence gets weird.
And then you panic. You just need to buy time. That means giving yourself a few seconds to think without standing in awkward silence.
Buy time. I definitely need that. My usual strategy is staring at my coffee cup and hoping the other person disappears.
Which rarely works. This happens to many English learners. You know the vocabulary, but you try to use the hardest words when you are put on the spot.
Put on the spot. That means being forced to answer immediately, without any preparation.
Yes, and when that sudden pressure hits, your only goal is to keep the conversation moving. You do not need a perfect story.
I just need a bridge, something to get me from his unexpected question to my actual answer.
Right. You need an automatic phrase that your mouth can say while your brain is still waking up.
Okay, that sounds great in theory, but what does a conversational bridge actually sound like? Because my brain clearly believes talking about oxygen is a normal human response.
A conversational bridge is just a polite, automatic sentence that buys you 3 seconds of thinking time.
Like coughing loudly or pretending my phone is ringing?
No, those are escape tactics. A bridge keeps you in the conversation. It is a simple phrase like, "That is a good question."
Wait, if a cashier asks about my weekend, and I say, that is a good question, I sound like a philosopher.
Fair point. Tone definitely matters based on the situation. Let us imagine a high-pressure moment instead.
Okay, I am ready. What is the situation?
You are at a work dinner holding a plate of food. A manager asks, "What exactly is your strategy for the new project?"
My brain immediately searches for the perfect 50-word business summary, and while I search, my face completely freezes.
Instead of freezing, use a bridge. Say, "That is a great question. We are actually still finalizing the details."
Oh, I see. That phrase gives my brain a second to breathe. I do not have to jump directly into hard facts.
Exactly. It signals that you heard them, and it proves you are comfortable managing the silence.
What if I genuinely do not know the answer? Last month, someone asked my opinion on a famous movie.
I assume you had not actually seen it?
Never. But I felt pressure to sound informed. I panicked, stared at my drink, and said, "It definitely had actors in it."
Oh no. That is another oxygen moment.
It was terrible. They just stared at me.
You needed a bounce-back phrase. You answer simply, then instantly pass the conversation back to them.
How does that actually work in practice?
You just say, "I actually have not seen it yet. Was it good?"
That is incredibly simple. I actually have not seen it yet. Was it good?
Yes. Or you can use another safe frame. "To be honest, I am still catching up on that. What did you think?"
To be honest, I am still catching up on that. What did you think?
Perfect. The bridge protects you from silence, and the question at the end hands the speaking turn back to them.
I really like that structure. But what happens if the other person notices I am just avoiding their questions?
That is a very fair objection. If you answer every single question with another question, you just sound like a detective.
Exactly. If the manager asks about my project, and I say, "What do you think about my project?" I might actually lose my job.
Okay, that made me laugh. You are right. There is a major difference between avoiding a conversation and safely guiding a conversation.
Guiding a conversation. That sounds much more confident than my usual strategy of staring at the floor until they leave.
When you avoid a topic, you give a dead-end answer. You say, "I do not know," and you let the awkward silence drop.
Which makes the other person feel like they made a huge mistake by trying to talk to me in the first place.
Right. But when you guide the conversation, you use a bridge to take the pressure off yourself while keeping the friendly energy moving.
So I am not running away from the social moment. I am just briefly changing who is speaking while I calm down.
Yes, you are managing the flow. Look at the movie example again. You could say, "I have not seen it yet, but I heard it is amazing."
Oh, I see. I am still admitting that I do not know the facts, but I am offering a safe detail to keep the dialogue alive.
That is the real secret. You do not need to be an expert on every topic. You just need to be a supportive partner in the conversation.
I hear that, but there is a realistic limitation here. I cannot just bounce questions back all day. Eventually, I have to talk about my own life.
Of course, a conversational bridge buys you time. A bounce-back phrase passes the turn. But eventually, you need a reliable way to share your own thoughts.
Which brings us right back to the original panic. How do I safely organize my thoughts when my brain still wants to talk about processing oxygen?
To safely organize your thoughts, you need a simple formula. I call it anchor, detail, pass.
Okay, break that down for my panicked brain.
When you are put on the spot, your brain searches for 10 perfect details. Instead, you just need one.
So the anchor stops me from overthinking.
Right. First, you drop the anchor. This is a short, safe truth about your current state.
Like saying, not much, or just taking it easy.
Exactly. Then, you add one simple detail. Not your entire schedule, just one concrete fact.
So for the cashier, I could say, just taking it easy. I am running a few errands.
Yes. That acts as your conversational bridge. Then you do the third step. You pass by asking a simple question.
Just taking it easy. I am running a few errands. How about you? Is your shift almost over?
That sounds completely natural. You guided the conversation smoothly without freezing.
Okay, but what if I am having a terrible day? Can my detail be taking it easy? I am currently failing at life?
Probably not the best choice for a cashier. Small talk usually requires a neutral tone.
Fair. Save the emotional confessions for close friends. Anchor, detail, pass. It keeps the sentence short so I do not blank.
Now, let us give you a chance to practice.
Oh, I like this. Let us put the listener on the spot instead.
Imagine a coworker asks, "How was your weekend?" Use the framework.
You might say, it was good. I finally watched that new movie. Did you do anything fun?
Now it is your turn. Answer this out loud in your own words. How was your weekend?
Take a short pause to answer. Okay. Hopefully that felt easier than discussing oxygen.
Even if you just planned a sentence in your head, having a framework builds confidence.
I definitely need to practice this before buying coffee again. I think it is time to review some phrases.
Let us slow down and look at the vocabulary in today's meaning moments.
I am ready, and I promise I will not try to discuss oxygen this time.
I appreciate that. First, let us review the phrase, put on the spot. You mentioned this when the cashier surprised you.
Yes, to be put on the spot means someone forces you to answer a question immediately, usually without any warning.
Exactly. It creates that feeling of sudden pressure, especially when you are speaking a second language. Repeat. Put on the spot.
Put on the spot.
Next is the word blank. In part 1, you said your brain completely blanked.
Right. When you blank, your mind just goes empty. You know the words, but you temporarily cannot access them.
It happens to everyone. The pressure hits, and the vocabulary hides. Repeat. Blank.
Blank.
Finally, we talked about using an anchor.
Right. In our formula, an anchor is a short, safe truth that starts your sentence. It stops you from overthinking.
It holds the conversation steady while you find your next thought, like a ship dropping a heavy anchor in the water.
That is a much better image than staring at a coffee cup in silence while my mind races.
Now let us upgrade your everyday English with Say It Better.
Give me a basic sentence.
Imagine someone asks you a complicated question at work. Basic sentence. I do not know.
That stops the conversation completely. It feels like a dead end, and it does not sound very professional.
A stronger version is, that is a great question. Let me think for a second.
Oh, that is a perfect conversational bridge. You buy time, but you still sound confident and polite.
Let us try one more. A coworker asks about your weekend. Basic sentence. I did not do anything.
That is safe, but it makes the other person feel a little awkward for asking.
Exactly. Let us use anchor and detail instead. Try, just taking it easy. I am catching up on some rest.
That gives them a friendly, realistic answer without requiring a long, complicated story.
Now it is your turn to practice. Someone asks, how is your week going?
First, drop your anchor. Say, it is going well. Now, add one small detail in your own words.
Try to speak the sentence out loud. Just add one simple, factual detail.
Take your time. Having a framework makes those unexpected questions much easier to handle.
We have covered a lot of ground today. I hope you feel a little more prepared the next time someone interrupts your oxygen processing.
I definitely am. The next time a friendly cashier asks about my weekend plans, I am dropping my anchor instead of freezing.
Exactly. You do not need to deliver a perfect, highly detailed story about your life. You just need to buy a few seconds of time.
Give a short anchor, add one safe detail, and then safely pass the conversation back to them. It takes all the pressure off.
It really does. You are just participating in a shared conversational rhythm, not giving a formal presentation to your boss.
So what is one small thing a person listening can try this week?
Keep it simple. Next time someone asks a casual question, just notice if you feel that sudden urge to build a complicated sentence.
When that happens, just pause, take a breath, and use a short conversational bridge instead.
We would love to hear from you. What is one safe anchor phrase you plan to try using this week?
You can share your phrase in the comments below. And if today's episode helped you, consider subscribing so we can keep practicing together.
Remember, true confidence in another language is not about knowing every single word perfectly.
It is about knowing how to smoothly keep moving when the words temporarily disappear.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much for joining us today at Everyday English Learning. I'm Lily.
And I'm Jake.
Keep taking it easy out there, and we will talk to you soon.
Have a really great week and enjoy your oxygen.